Good morning, everyone. I am Vishnu Jagtab. In front of all of you, I am presenting the Economics Time newspaper headline. So, first of all, a few steps forward at the G20, but no communique. Next, India INC flagship giving older chef more time at helm. Next, confident of governance quality, Adani. Next, opposition forms alliance India to take on ND. Next, PM slams opposition unity, reaches out to new allies. Next, India, Argentina discuss likely Tejas BrahMos deal. Next, Azure Power India in talks with lenders to modify loan terms. Next, IMF inflation may stay high, need for monetary tightening. Next, HCL planning $300 million foray into semicon. Next, Vistara SOP for Tata Airline entitles likely. Next, Indian joins the US party in big tech stocks. Next, forecast summit UL for Vidarbha power debt. Next, SoftBank sells additional 2% stake in Paytm. Next, 5G smartphone user base crosses 100M. Next, e-commerce share in warehouse leasing falls. On page number 2 in pure politics section in that opposition alliance named India. Next, Modi slams opposition unity, reaches out to new allies. Next, this kind of etiquette observed in all previous governments, Siddharamaiah on IS officer on protocol duty. Next, Bonhumi, some new faces in first NDA meeting after 2019 LS polls. Next, BJP leaders meet at residence of Rajnath. Next, cannot align with Nitish says Chirag. Only I will contest from Hajipur, says Uncle Paras. Next, Kalyan pitches for bringing TDP back into NDA fold, says YSRCP cannot join NDA. On page number 3, pure politics section in that India Argentina discuss probable Tejas BrahMos deal. Next, talk with Russia on defense equipment spares held. Next, mass leader and UDF solution man. Next, Supreme Court to take up Rahul Gandhi's appeal on Friday. Next, India France to develop new generation weapon envoy. Next, Fernandez order probe into Somaya video. Next, Russia strikes Ukraine ports after pulling out of grains deal. Next, India highlights three principles for global framework on crypto assets. Next, notable extension. Next, sample quits as NCSC chief. Next, demand for work under Manregas is in quarter one. On page number 4 in brands and companies section in that Oyo checks into premium resorts and hotel space with Peleti. Next, Adani Group confident of its governance and disclosure standards. Next, faster visas for Chinese exports in electronic sector on the cards. Next, India's 5G smartphone user base crosses 100M mark. Next, Wells Fargo International Solution renews 3.7 lakh square feet office lease in Hyderabad. Next, MSF asks Johnson and Johnson to step away from secondary patent for key TB drug. Next, Indian Hami Pipe and Birla Estate Inc. pact to develop Delhi plot. Next, Adani go to banker Barclays get cautious after Hindelburg report. Next, high prices not a deterrent for consumer looking to buy energy efficient appliance. Next, e-commerce costs go slow on warehouse leasing as demand slips post COVID. On page number 5, economic market in that Sensex top 67,000 for first time, even profit booking no dampener. Next, HDFC Bank can rise up to 25% with valuations attractive. Next, AI linked stocks lift US indies. Next, Reliance Geo financial demerger. Next, Clarios ARBL sales 14% in Amar Raja. Next, Rekha Junjunwala sales 5.5% in Rallies India. Next, foreign banks exposure to traders to trades in long-term bonds not a concern. On page number 6, smart investing section in that. Next, ICICI Prudential Life profit up 33%, but value of new biz falls. Next, foreign banks exposure to trades in long-term bonds, not a concern. Next, Industrial quarter one net rises 30% on loan growth. Next, aluminum cost gain has fall in coal price seen to boost profit. Next, cost revenue growth in quarter one may slow down but margin to rise. Next, ICICI Lombard net profit rises 12% on premium boost. Next, four bidders give EOI for Vidarbha power debt. Next, stocks under ESM framework can now be traded on all days. Next, PFC eyes up to rupees 5,000 crore via public issue of bonds. Next, Reliance Jio financial demerger. Next, ST bullish on HDFC Bank 25% upside seen. On page number 7, companies section in that Azure Power India in talks with lenders to modify rupee loans term. Next, well spun one logistic parks fund rises over rupees 1000 crore. On page number 9, companies section in that High Court grants relief to Disney Plus Hotstar. Next, Powerman proposes transfer of CTU to Grid Controller of India. Next, IPL drives Network 18 revenue by 142% in quarter 1. On page number 10, in companies section in that India US call for clean energy supply chain. Next, auditor cause clash has regulator put in place stringent compliance norms. Next, NHAI to auction 300-kilometer highways asset under TOT model. Next, Vedanta remains fully committed to Semicon and display fabs unit in Gujarat. Next, GAIL Lenza Tech joins two hands to set up carbon capture pilot project. Next, on page number 11, companies section in that Shah launches portal to refund Sahara cause of depositors. Next, Tata Group may adopt Vistara's SOP in merged airline and entities. Next, Farm Association wants government to recall draft new drugs bill. Next, government asks bank to issue mobility enabled cards. Next, hedging also at play. Next, expert panels export. On page number 12, disruption section in that SCL Group planning $300M semicon for a say sources. Next, e-gaming investors say 28% GST in will make biz unviable. Next, Wipro's $1 billion AI play to be self-financed Delaporte. Next, LTT quarter one net profit up 13% to rupees 311 crore. Next, LTI Mindtree CEO says deal delays consistent across all biz sectors. Next, Infosys secures $2 billion 5 years AI deal from its existing client. Next, SoftBank sells 2% of Paytm stake, holding in co slips below 10%. Next, Footwear Co. Soul threads rises $3.7M. Next, Shark Tank India S1 locks 40% deal close rate rupees 17 crore deployed. Next, large cause may corner big share of business on ONDC Bernstein. On page number 13, economy section in that IMF warns inflation may stay high, sees need for monetary tightening. Next, India has strongly put challenges for global south on the table. Next, FM talks global debt issues with Chinese peer. Next, NK Singh makes case for hike in development bank's capital. Next, on page number 14, edit page section in that to not be poor is glorious rewarding. Next, India Ramco wood unit. Next, what is dharna? Next, we must change our spots for cheetahs. Next, global trade on thin ice. Next, greening agri supply chain. Next, Netas Natter let power polls begin. Next, if you tax it, they will go. Next, let water seek its own level. Next, $5 trillion, $25 trillion Gatsian. On page number 15, economic manager section in that a novel solution that promotes innovation. Next, data fights breakout against AI. Next, no trial direct entry. Next, South League better than MLS Ronaldo. Next, Satvik smashes Guinness World Record. Next, Shakil maiden double ton puts Pakistan on top. Next, Australia retain Warner Green places Murphy. Next, court fight over a legend will is a cautionary tale. Next, Australia's Victoria pulls out of 2026 CWG over cost concern. Next, Tycoon says UK seized his super yacht to look tough. Next, the mystery object found on a Australia beach. On page number 16, brand equity section that keeping an AI on the road ahead. Next, the most memorable ads feature slightly absurd situation. Thanks for watching.